Hello to the people of YouTube. I am so happy to have you here. It's been a minute since I have done a reading, but that is because I have moved. So, yeah, sorry it took me a while to get back to you guys. But since it's been so long, today I'm just going to do some kind of like spiritual check-in, leave the messages very open to whatever wants to come through. So you can go ahead and choose your pile. Pile number 1 is going to be the Dragon deck. Pile number 2 is Authentic Casino Playing Cards, Unbranded. And then pile number 3 will be this nice purple deck that I do not know how to pronounce the name of, so I'm not even going to try today. Alright, now that you've chosen your deck, I am going to be starting with pile number 1. We'll give that a quick shuffle. Alright, messages for pile number 1. 3 shuffles. Okay. What is my message for pile number 1 today? Oh wow, that flew out pretty far. Okay, so it was the 10 of Wands and 8 of Swords. Let me get what fell on the floor. And what fell on the floor is the 7 of Cups, which is a card that talks about having options and lots of things to choose from and not being quite sure what to do. So what I'm seeing here is you have some kind of big decision that you're not sure how to answer. Like, it's like you have to choose something, because in the original deck, 7 of Cups has like all these cups, and each cup is like a different outcome, and you're not sure which cup to choose for you. And that being paired with the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Swords, it feels like you're stuck and feeling very heavily burdened by the fact that you need to make this decision, and just a bit confused on like what to do. Now on the bottom of the deck, this is a card that comes with the deck. It's not like an actual playing card, but I like to leave it in as like a spirit card. So I'm just gonna take that as like spirits there with you. They see what you're going through, and they know that this is a difficult decision with you, because underneath that is the 3 of Swords, which is kind of like a heartache card. So I see you're struggling with some kind of difficult decision. Okay, so if that sounds like you, then this is the pile for you. We have the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups is a bit like kind of ignoring a certain cup that's trying to come out of nowhere, if that makes sense. Let me get a couple more cards before I speak too much. Okay. And then we still have the 3 of Swords on the bottom. So I'm seeing a lot of like turmoil, I guess, internal turmoil based on this circumstance that you're in. You got the 6 of Swords that came out, which is about like smooth sailing, the calm after the storm kind of situation. So I'm seeing there is some kind of peaceful resolution for you, but you're not quite sure how to get there. But Spirit's offering it to you. So we'll see what these 3 cards are to get some kind of clarification on what's going on there. So you have the 9 of Cups, which is some kind of like wish fulfillment. Things are going good. Queen of Cups, so being in touch with how you feel internally. And the King of Wands, which is like very passionate and using your physical, like the things you do physically, not like mentally, but like physically doing the actions that you're taking, are rooted in like what you're passionate about and the things that you really care about. So what I'm seeing is like what they're suggesting, because tarot is always just a suggestion. It's not like, it doesn't have any authority over your life. You choose, you make the decision. But what they're suggesting is to take this cup that kind of feels right to your soul. Like you know what it is. It feels good. It's something that like you really want to do. And it feels good to your heart. And then the day-to-day actions that will take place is something that you actually enjoy doing. Like if you enjoy working with your hands. Maybe construction work is like where you'd want to go, because the day-to-day would be, you know, working with the tools and stuff, and that's the kind of thing that you like to do. Or if it could be like maybe computer-based, maybe you love typing on a computer, so maybe you want to go into coding, or you want to go into like some kind of office job where your day-to-day will be typing on a computer, because that's something that you enjoy. Personally, I really enjoy working with like typing on a computer because I like the sound. So maybe if you're a person like that, like the option here that feels good to you would be something like that. I'm going to stick with the computer. I'm going to stick with the computer example. So let's say this decision that you're trying to make is some kind of job, right? And one thing that you really love with the Queen of Cups would be you love helping people, you care about people's health, so maybe some kind of like healthcare worker would be good for you. And then also with the King of Wands, you enjoy typing on computers, right? So maybe the thing that would be your wish fulfillment and that would feel really good to you is some kind of like, maybe you work with like insurance or something, where you're calling people, you're typing out their information. There's all kinds of jobs like that where you're like healthcare focused, but also you're sitting behind a computer and it's not like on the floor work like a nurse or a doctor might be. Or maybe it is like you want to be like a nurse or a doctor, like if you're passionate about people's health, and then the day-to-day actions that you like to do are interacting with people and talking to people, that would be more aligned with your King of Wands. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is, to make this decision, think about what you care about, like what's something that is very important to you, and then think about what kind of day-to-day actions you enjoy taking, and then that will help you make your decision. I'm assuming this is career. It seems like kind of like a career choice thing, but I'm not entirely sure. Just take it however it will fit for you. A personal, what's it called? Example, I guess. A personal example that this would make sense for me is, I really care about plants and health and like helping people, not only physically but also spiritually, like from the inside out. I'm really into holistic wellness. But then day to day, I really like working with my hands. I want to get my hands in the dirt. I love gardening. So right now I'm getting started on some kind of like herbal, medicinal herbal, but also just beverage herbal kind of thing. I'm getting started on that. So stay tuned. I'll keep y'all updated if that goes somewhere. But that's me paying attention to what I love, which is both plants and holistic wellness and just helping people in general. And then the physical day-to-day things that I love to do would be sowing the seeds, watering the garden, weeding the garden. So that's how I had made this decision to move forward with something like that. So take that how it applies to you and figure out what you want to do based on that. So before I close it, I'm just going to reiterate one more time in case I'm being a little, I feel scattered. I don't know. This is my first reading in a while, so I do feel a little scattered. I apologize, but I hope this is making sense. To make this decision that feels really burdening to you, think about what you love, what you care about, what would feel good and fulfilling for you, and then think about what you like to do on the day-to-day, like what's something you could wake up and do all the time, and then find the healthy blend between those two. And that is the answer to this heavy burdening question that you're experiencing. So yeah, that is it for my pile number ones. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm so glad to be back. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I would love if you commented about what this decision is for you, and if this was helpful for you to be making any of these decisions. I would just love to know how this reading helped you with that. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another reading. Okay. Now starting with my pile number twos. Pile number two. Three shuffles. All right, what is my message for pile number two? Okay, so the first card that came out is a card about rest. And then the next card that came out, which is the Six of Pentacles, speaks on some kind of charity, either giving or receiving. I'm not sure which one you are in this situation, but you're one of them. Then you have the Three of Swords, which is a bit of a heartache kind of situation, over the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is kind of like the crying over spilled milk kind of cup. I'm not sure what the situation was, but in the original deck, it's a bit like this person is looking at these 3 cups that have been spilled, and they're really sad about it. But behind them, where they can't see, is 2 cups that are still standing upright and still full. So they're kind of looking at the negative side, or what they had lost, and not paying much attention to what they still have. Which is okay, because in some situations, it's okay to look at something and be like, dang, well, that sucks. And it's okay to admit that and feel the feelings that you have about that. That's no problem. But I'm seeing you're in a period of rest and going through that. You're healing this situation that you're looking back on. You're like, dang, that really sucked. Like, I didn't like that. You know, you're looking at it, you're feeling those feelings, you're having those emotions. And then I want to get more on what is this Six of Pentacles about. Eight of Cups, Four of Cups. Okay, so it's like you're walking away from this situation as you are acknowledging it and feeling those feelings. So it's slowly becoming a part of the past. And then now you're moving into an area where you're able to walk away from it and see what other opportunities there are for you. Because the Four of Cups in the original deck, or like the original tarot deck, it's this person who's looking at the empty cups, much like in the Five of Cups. But the difference between the Four and the Five of Cups is, in the Four of Cups, there's a cup coming from the sky. So something basically out of thin air, just something new to you, will start to show up as you're walking away from this situation, and it's taking time. That makes sense, but I feel like it still didn't clarify what the Six of Pentacles is about. Okay, so basically, as you are... No, I want a card, please. King of Pentacles. Okay, so you're balancing out what you're giving your energy to. Because I do feel like part of the balance was acknowledging the bad parts, or the things that weren't too desirable for you. And now you're starting to balance that out with things that are more positive, things around you that you do have gratitude for, and just start acknowledging those kind of things. I am hearing that it would be good for you to have some kind of what's the word? Gratitude practice. Yeah. So have some kind of gratitude practice. Maybe once a day you just sit down and write every single thing that you're grateful for. I used to do this, especially in the beginning parts of my spiritual journey, just to like keep my mind on the good. Of course, acknowledge the bad. That's not what I'm saying. But like, it's also good to acknowledge the good, right? There's the balance, which you are balancing out right now. So now that you have looked at the bad stuff, it's time to look at the good stuff. And it could be very simple stuff. It could be these shoes. I wear these shoes every day, but like, I love these shoes. They feel comfortable on my feet. I can walk a long distance in them without getting any kind of blister or anything. So I'm grateful for my shoes. If you can see, I'm grateful for my eyes. It's a blessing to be able to see. I'm grateful for my sense of smell. Just simple things. I'm grateful for this blanket. It's so soft. And just literally any single thing that you can think of that is like good and benefiting you in some way, just write it down. I'm thankful for that. Thankful for that. And it'll be like a slower process, but over time that's going to change your internal energy to just acknowledge the goodness of everything, even in the bad situations. I'm not sure what this bad situation is, but I'm sure once you're able to heal it, and once you're really settled into this gratitude practice, you'll be able to look at that and be like, I'm grateful that happened because of this. And I'll use a personal example. One time I was talking to this girl and I was really into her. Like, I thought she was the one. I thought we were it. I thought that was twin flame, but no, it turned out awful. She's not the one for me, and it really sucked. And I was really upset about it for a while. But then now, after I've kind of healed through all the sucky parts of it, I look back at it and I'm really grateful that it happened, because she taught me how to love myself in a completely different way. Indirectly, because I learned that lesson through someone not loving me the way that I should be loved, I was able to see that that is not what I deserve. And I actually deserve the cream of the crop. I deserve the best. So if that situation hadn't happened, I would have continued to settle for less. But now I won't settle for nothing. I'd rather be single than have like half of what I want. You know what I mean? So even though that situation really hurt me and it sucked in the moment, I'm able to look back on it and be like, you know what? I'm grateful that that happened, because now I know the next person that I decide to start dating, I'm not going to stick around if they're not cream of the crop, if they're not treating me good, if I'm, you know, like I have my standards. It really raised my standards after going through all that. So yeah, whatever this situation is, it's okay if you don't want to look at it now and try and find the positive in it now. You don't need to rush that. I would just say focus on the positive things that are actually feeling really positive right now. Like if you have a car, I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful that I can turn the key and I know it's going to turn on. You know, like that's good stuff. Or like, I'm grateful for my job because, you know, money flow. That's a good thing. I love it. Thanks. So yeah, just little things like that. And I think that's your whole message today. Anything else want to come out? Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Four of Pentacles. Two Swords. And the Two of Wands. So you got 4, 2, 2. Maybe you see 2, 2, 2 a lot. Or I'm seeing 44, 22. So that's cool. Lots of twos here. Anyways, what was I saying about that? 4 Pentacles. Okay, so as you are reprogramming your mind to be able to see the more positive things that are going on around you and the things that actually feel really good for you, it's going to stabilize, and then you'll be able to make decisions moving forward from that place of gratitude, and just you'll be able to choose things that feel better for you. Like with the example that I gave about how this person basically broke my heart, but now moving forward, I'm going to be making better decisions in the people that I choose to date because of that experience. So you're going through something similar. It could be in a different way, but something similar where like you went through this really hurtful situation, you're healing from it, you're finding the positivity around you, and then through that it's going to stabilize, and you're going to be able to make a decision that will be better for you. Because let me tell you, if that girl came into my life right now, there's no way I would even consider the fact that this is twin flame, this is the love of my life, this is the person I'm going to be with. No way. I would not have I would have cut her out way quicker than I did experiencing this, you know? So I now know, don't settle. And you're going through that situation where you're learning, okay, I'm not going to do that. And if a situation like this pops up again, I'm just going to nip it in the butt. And that is it. So yeah, have patience with yourself. Do the gratitude practice. Find the things that you love. And that's going to grow and stabilize. And then if you're into well, I guess you're into tarot, so you're probably into spirituality. But like the whole raising your vibration thing that people say, that's what you're doing. You're raising your vibration by healing this past and finding the positivity in the things around you. And that is it for this reading for pile number 2. So thank you so much for being here. If this resonated, feel free to subscribe. I did notice I got a couple more subscribers while I was away, so thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. And I hope to see you again. Now, starting with pile number 3. Pile number 3, pile number 3. I'm going to give you some quick shuffles. Shuffle number 1. Shuffle number 2. And shuffle number 3. Okay. My pile number 3s. What's going on for my pile number 3s? Behind door number 3, number 3, number 3. Okay. Well, things are feeling very stable with you. Very steady. Okay. 7 of Wands. Seven of Wands speaks on defending something, being either defensive about something that you're doing, or maybe not defensive, not the same word, but more like defending. I guess defensive is the right word then. But it's like you're defending something that you care about, or it really matters to you. And it's kind of like, I see you protecting your peace. Is anything else going to come out? There we go. This is a new... Okay, so you're in a whole new cycle where you're focused on your peace. If something doesn't feel right for you, you're going to flick it away. And this is new for you. Like, this is something that you have recently unlocked. It's like you stepped into a new journey, and moving forward, you're like, you got your priorities straight, is what I'm hearing. You figured out what is right for you, and what kind of priorities, or what kind of situations that you don't want, and what kind of situations that you do want, and what you're making for yourself based on peace. And you're going to defend it. And I respect that. The cards aren't feeling very chatty. It's like you already know what's going on. You know what's going on. Five of Pentacles. What's that about? Oh, now the cards are chatty. Okay, so we'll separate this. This felt like a different reading of like, okay, you are in an area where you're protecting your peace. You're starting this new journey. You're loving the journey. Things are going great. Five of Pentacles pops up with the King of Wands. So the Five of Pentacles is a card that talks a little bit about being left out in the cold, feeling some kind of lack. And then you have the Five of Swords, which is kind of like petty argument or like not loving things. And then the Two of Pentacles, which is a card about balance. With the King of Wands. Okay. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is, yes, you're on this journey of like stability. You feel very stable within yourself and you have your priorities straight. But that doesn't quite mean the world around you has caught up yet, is what I'm seeing. It's like you feel good internally, but things outside of you are still shifting. Like you haven't quite manifested the life that you want to see. I do see the Eight of Wands on the bottom, which means it's coming, it's developing. But right now where you're at is you have gone through this internal shift, but now that you have changed internally, the external is slowly starting to morph and change. And there's like a little bit of tension and resistance of trying to find some kind of balance between these things. And that's normal because when you change, things change around you. But things change internally first, and you've done that work. So now it's like the external world is starting to slowly make its adjustments. And I'm seeing maybe it's like the people around you that haven't quite caught up to who you are now. Because let's say you've known someone for years and years and years, and then they change. You might not know that they've changed internally yet. So you're still treating them as you would before they changed. But once you notice that they're starting to change, you would start... Oh, this... I feel like I'm... Hold on. This is you. You're a new person, right? And this is an old person who loves and cares about you, but they don't know that you've been through this internal change. So they're treating you the same as they did before you did that internal change. But now that you've changed internally, the way that this person is treating you doesn't quite feel right to you anymore. Like it's just kind of gone out of alignment. And I think this person, it could be a person, it could be some kind of situation, but they're starting to notice that you've changed. So they're trying to adjust how they're moving forward because you've changed, but they're not quite sure how to do that yet because this is new for them. So I would say give them some time to figure out like how to approach this new situation. Like, cause you're a totally new person. I see that. You did a whole new rebirth internally. So now your external situation and the people's, they're trying to adjust. It's like, it's still respect. Like they respect the changes that you've made, but they're more of just trying to figure out, okay, what does that mean for me, right? Like, how do I act or behave moving forward. A real practical like example of this would be like, let's say you're working at this job, right? But you were going to school while working at this job, and now you've got a degree. Like you got a new degree, so you have these new credentials and this new, you've changed because you got this degree or whatever. And now this job is like, oh, well, we still want you as an employee. You're a great employee, but you do have that new degree that does change your qualifications. So maybe we need to change your position, change what kind of responsibilities you have at work, but they're not quite sure how they want to do that yet. So it's that kind of situation. So yeah, I think the advice here is just to give your physical life some time to adjust to this new version of you, because they are adjusting, and it is like a little bit like they're a little weary about it just because it's new territory, and we're all a little bit weary when we reach something new. But it's all good things. It's going to balance itself out, and your external world is going to start reflecting your internal world soon enough, as long as you stick with it. And that is everything for this reading. Thank you so much for watching. I did notice a couple new subscribers, so I'm really glad about that. And I will see you on another day. Goodbye.